Can you believe this, guys? Over 9 minutes in Robo Rumble right now, this last weekend. No joke. And I'm going to give you the gameplay as well as all of the details on the strategy that you need to do the same. Hope you enjoy. Hello fellow brawlers, I'm Kairos Time and it is time to brawl. This is going to be a very fun video and I'm actually really excited about it, okay? So in this video, basically the whole goal is to show you how you can get a really long Robo Rumble time and kind of increase that max record that you've got on your profile there. Now in order for you to fully understand this, we've got to do three different things, okay? First of all, we're going to go ahead and show you how the Robo Rumble maps are actually generated so that you know what to look for in order to get a max score. Second, I'm going to explain the specific roles that each of the three brawlers need to fulfill in order for you to actually do this well. And then lastly, guys, Samus, JC, and Calagon, the three guys that got this record-breaking time, actually recorded this video specifically for this channel. So I'm going to show you that gameplay and show you exactly what happened when they got over 9 minutes for Robo Rumble. What? Yes, guys, it's going to be epic. Okay, guys, let's start off by talking about Robo Rumble and how the maps are generated. I wanted to give a huge thank you to TR Grit, who actually hacked into the code. I don't know if you call it hacking. He's a data miner, went straight into the code of Brawl Stars and figured all this out and sent me as much as he could figure out regarding Robo Rumble. So we're going to talk about this right here. Now for Robo Rumble, basically what you have right over here, you've got these 8 tiles that can randomly be one of a specific set of tiles. There are specific tiles in Robo Rumble that when you go into a match, the game just like randomly selects some, spits it out right there, and so there are hundreds, if not thousands, of possibilities for you to actually have every single Robo Rumble match. So it's highly unlikely that you'll be able to get one specific pattern that's going to work, but there are patterns, guys. In order for you to understand this, basically you need to recognize that for these 3 left tiles here, there are going to be 11 specific tiles that can fit into one of those 3, and when you jump in, it's going to choose 3 of those 11 and put them right there in any random order. The same thing is going to happen on these 3 tiles over here on the right. So once again, you have 11 tiles that can possibly be in there. You go in, it's going to randomly select 3 of them and put them in some random order there. Then you have this lower left tile right here, and there's 2 tiles that can possibly be in there, and then there's 2 tiles that can possibly be in the bottom right hand corner as well. I took the time to try and figure out exactly how many maps there possibly could be in Robo Rumble, or how many possibilities there are, but I think it's a little bit more complicated than I understand. So if you know how to do it, please put down in the comment section below, explain the math and how you got to that number, because I would love to know. Now this isn't an exact replica of exactly how the map looks, but this does prove the point that you need to understand. And one interesting fact right here, you will see this one single path down in the middle right there. There will never be any blocks right there, which is why strategies like Colt and Rico right down the center, spamming their supers straight up and everybody going down to one single point so that you can actually do that, does actually work out. The reason why I'm explaining this is because there is one specific tile that you need to have in order for this strategy to work out, okay? And that is this tile, okay? Now this tile right here, that is tile number 9 for the right side right there, if you look in the actual files. And this tile has to be exactly in this position. And the basic idea is that you go into this corner right here where no bots can actually come and get you. They all come down right here, and then you take them out just like right around here. Now it's more complicated than that, so stay tuned for all the details. But there is one important thing for you to recognize, and that is that this tile has to be here. It cannot be here. If it's right here, then you have bots that spawn in these 4 sections and they will come up into there and be able to attack from multiple directions, and you cannot have that. If it is down here, then what will happen is you'll have that little section right here that you're hiding, and there will be some bots that will come down here and they will actually see the safe and start targeting the safe instead of you, which you cannot have happen. Hence why it has to be right here. Now there is one other tile that actually does work, and that is this tile. That's tile number 8. This tile does not quite work out as well. Both the 2 highest times by Samus, JC, and Calagon were with this tile, but this one does a pretty good, decent job, and you can get some pretty good times with that because it's kind of that same similar pattern. The reason why this one works a little bit better is because it's a little bit further down. This little L is right here. Now, I don't think it's Supercell's intention to keep it like this for very long. I don't think they want people grinding out for 9 minutes in Robo Rumble with one specific comp that works out like that. So I would not be surprised if they're actually going to, like, maybe remove this tile right here, which will allow bots to come in from multiple sides or something like that. Maybe move it to the left or something like that. I don't know, guys. All I'm saying is that you might want to take advantage of this before they can change this so that you can get an awesome record just like mine. That's right, guys. 9 minutes. Oh yeah, try and beat that. Okay guys, now let's go ahead and talk about the specific brawlers. You will see some gameplay going on over here. That is not the gameplay that got them up to past 9 minutes, but they do get pretty high, so you can enjoy that and kind of see what's going on here. We'll show the actual gameplay after this explanation, okay? Now I wanted to give a huge thank you to the 3 guys who came up with this strategy and took the time to record it for me so that I could put it on YouTube, okay? But that's Samiz, JC, and Encalagon. A huge thank you to them. I actually offered to bring them up onto the channel and kind of like do an interview type of video, but English isn't their first language, so instead we kind of like discuss the details and all of the strategy over text, so that I could give you guys all the tips and tricks to mastering this strategy. Okay guys, three brawlers, very important. I cannot think of a single way to replace any single one of them. They are all necessary in order to make this work out. We're gonna first start off by talking about Barley, okay? Barley is the main damage dealer in this comp. You have to have him. The mouse and sniper bots, once you get this far into Robo Rumble, each have just over 10,000 health, and that is insane. And the boxing bots, to make things even worse, have over 16,000 health. This means that you need a Barley to melt through their HP. One of Barley's supers thrown down into one single spot with those bots or any target really standing on that for the duration of the super will actually melt through over 13,000 health, which is why Barley is absolutely necessary. Now, Barley has very little HP. You have to survive as Barley, and you'll notice in this gameplay right here that Barley's just in that little corner. He's just like, whoa, don't take me out. You can't take me out, because as soon as Barley gets taken out, the damage per second gets taken out and everybody gets wiped out, and then the bots come down onto the super. Now, when you are playing Barley, it's really important that you use your supers on enough bots that you're able to actually recharge your super so that you can use it over and over again. I don't recommend using it on just 1 or 2 bots or even just 3 bots. You really want to make sure that there's a nice clump of bots right there so that you can recharge it up and then use it for the next round. Otherwise, you might catch yourself without a super when a ton of bots spawn, and that can be the end for you guys. What you want to do is you really want to drop your super in a position just before those bots can actually come around that corner and deal damage to your team. That way, they get stuck right there, they get melted through before enough of them can come in and deal enough damage to take you guys out. It takes a little bit of practice to master playing with Barley, but I think out of the 3 brawlers, Barley is probably the easiest out of the 3 to really master this technique so that you can get a super high score on Robo Rumble. The second brawler we're going to talk about is Frank. Frank has a very important role. His goal is really to keep bots stunned so that Barley's super will actually melt through them, because if they just walk through it, they won't get taken out quite enough, and so they need to stay, they just gotta stand in there, and if they stand in there, that's really gonna do well. Frank uses his super to try and stun as many bots as possible within Barley's super for as long as possible. If he's able to do that successfully, paired up with Barley, he should actually be able to completely get rid of those sniper bots and those mouse bots, and with his other attacks he should also be able to help clear out, with the help of Pam, those boxing bots. Now you can actually use Frank's super fairly frequently to try and keep those bots pushed back, since he can actually recharge his super pretty quickly. If he actually lands 1 super on 6 bots, it will recharge it. Then he can of course use his regular attacks and kind of melt through them, build up his super and kind of use that frequently. Once again, you don't want to use it on only just 1 or 2 bots though. You want to make sure that you're able to recharge that super. Otherwise, you're gonna really struggle, because the last thing you want is a bunch of bots coming down to you guys and Frank not having his super so that he can actually freeze them so the Barley super can actually take them out. Now Frank actually also has a second role here. Frank is also somewhat of a tank that uses his health to keep those boxing bots from charging into your teammates, okay? So those boxing bots will only charge at you if they see a target from a distance. If they're actually right up next to their target, they will not charge. And what that means is that you want to make sure that those boxing bots see you when they are within range of actually punching you. And you really want to keep them from charging at all costs, because if they charge in there, they disrupt some of your shots or something like that, that can be one single thing that can prevent this whole strategy from working out. What you should do as Frank is you should carefully wait until they come around that corner, then he should pop out and carefully lead them around the corner so that they are actually punching him as he's slowly walking back so that they don't actually charge. If you do this right, you can actually avoid charges altogether, which makes it much easier for your teammates to keep dealing enough damage to kind of keep all those bots at bay. Frank's strategy is actually pretty tricky. You got to practice a lot to master it. I don't know if Frank or Pam is harder to play though, because Pam also has a very important role, and that is to try and keep everyone alive so that you can keep the strategy going as long as possible. Particularly, she needs to keep that Frank alive so that he can keep tanking those shots from those boxing bots. Now she does this by putting down her turret, which provides that constant buff, so he's always kind of healing. But what really helps out, guys, is the fact that her star power actually allows constant healing every single time one of those bolts actually land a shot on those bots. Now that's really important, but Pam also has a secondary role, and that is to support Frank by actually taking turns with him when it comes to being a little bit of a mini tank, so that he can have just enough time so that she can heal him up without him getting damage taken to him. As Pam, it is very important for you to pay very close attention to her own health as well as the Frank's health, because if Frank's health gets too low, she needs to kind of swap in and let him heal up while she gets taken out, and then fall back so that she can actually heal up, and while Frank gets taken out, and then back and forth. And you kind of want to, like, I don't know why I'm doing this little finger thing, but hopefully that helps you understand exactly what I'm talking about. She really should look at both of their health and prioritize whichever one needs to get healed up, and then fall back or come in depending on the situation. It's really important though, if either Pam or Frank gets taken out, the whole strategy just messes up and you guys are going to get taken out, and that's going to be the end of your round. Now that we've actually talked about these specific brawlers so that you guys kind of have an idea of how to do this, let's go ahead and actually watch the record holding match so that you can really appreciate the skill that these three players have as they expertly pull off the impossible. Okay guys, let's go ahead and start this off where this boss is just coming up right here. This gives us plenty of time to kind of like explain things. You can see them not really worrying about the boss too much. They just kind of let him walk over there, mosey on over there so that he can just meet his doom. You can see Sam is right there, or you can see Pam and Frank kind of switching back and forth, taking turns, taking that damage and healing back up, just like that in action right there. Super easy. So we're just going to start off right here with the death of that third boss, because I think this is where a lot of people want to start seeing this kind of start out. We got two quick bots right there. They're practicing right there. You don't, with just two bots spawning like that, it's a little bit of struggle. But here you can see these charging bots coming in right here. That first one doesn't actually charge up right there. Sam has got taken out just because that boss, a little bit of tricky right there. But here we go. They're starting out this thing. There aren't enough bots right here where each of them can actually charge up their super really quickly, and that is a very important part. So it's actually a little bit of a tricky situation to get past this point. A little bit of luck as well, right? You gotta get into the match with the correct tile in the correct position, and you can see that right here. But then you also have to have enough skill to get to the point where you're actually able to survive. Here we're at 6 minutes, and this is where a lot of people tend to struggle. I've played plenty of matches where I've got taken out at 6 minutes. In fact, probably the next 20 seconds is usually where I do get taken out. My highest since Robo Rumble as it is right now is about 6 minutes and 45 seconds. These guys, it's not even a struggle for them. So you can see right there, Frank really takes the time right there to wait until all of those are bunched up right there. Uses his super so that multiple of them right there. He goes in, you can see them trying to fall back. That one sniper bot put them in a tricky situation where the sniper spawned directly over onto the left side of things and then walked directly underneath those 4 boxes that you can see right there. But now most of the time, they're actually not going to have that issue. He throws down his super, lands it on 2 of those spots right there, and they just got to restart, kind of build up their supers right there. You can see Frank and Pam taking the time to kind of go back and forth. They're trying to heal up, doing that just in time. He uses his super just in the perfect situation right here where he's able to freeze multiple of them. Barley's throwing down his regular attacks. He's also throwing down his super. And here, wave 31, we're past 7 minutes. There are a ton of bots right here. I don't know about you guys, but I'd get overwhelmed at this point. These guys do not. You can see them carefully leading those boxing bots just around the corner so that they don't charge and actually disrupt this whole thing. Wave 32, so many bots already, but it's just going to get more intense from here. They're using this. Barley is putting down his supers just in the perfect position, and Frank and Pam going back and forth like that, really close at this situation, but Barley does put down that attack right there. Frank freezes a ton of them, and then they're just trying to melt through these last 2 bots. Now this is intense. This is intense. All of those bots right there spawn right next to them. I'm sure at that point they're like, whoa, gotta be careful right there. But Barley, quick with his super, is able to react to that situation, puts it down, and they're just trying to melt through them as much as possible. At this point, I don't believe that Barley has his super up, so they've got to be very careful. Frank does freeze them as much as he can and smashes through them as quickly as he can to try and build up his super, and he does need to use that on those 2 bots right here because they're getting close to losing the momentum that they've got right here. Not any boxing bots coming right here, so they're able to actually survive. That was kind of lucky on their part, but that's kind of what happens with Robo Rumble, is having a little bit of luck. But all of that honestly was skill. They are doing this expertly. They've had tons of practice. We're at wave 37, 8 minutes and a half, and here we've got all these bots right here. He throws down that super. Sam actually was able to not only get taken out, but kind of make it up right here, but he isn't able to make that. That charging bot does take him out, and this is kind of where things fall apart. With Pam getting taken out, those bull bots are able to take Frank out. He doesn't have enough HP or healing to kind of get back in there, and all of these bots with 39, wave 39, they kind of come right here, and they're just doing their best at this point to try and go as long as they possibly can. They all 3 get taken out, and there goes the save with 9 minutes and 1 second. Holy cow, guys, what an insane strategy. Make sure you drop a comment in the section below talking about what your favorite thing that you learned from Robo Rumble was from this video. For now, this is Skyros Time ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.